blow on the mic.
That was good.
You never blow on the mic.
Well, that was a good airplane noise.
Is it an airplane noise?
Yeah, you're also great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great.
You're great. Hey, Jackson.
Jackson.
What's going on?
You're great.
You guys are great.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Picking up what we're putting down. Jackson Banks is here.
Have we begun?
Yeah,
we just started.
Oh.
I just started it because I was like, you know what? It's late. Let's do this. Let's get it going.
Let's do it. Welcome. No.
Okay.
What's the name of this? Hang on, let me take one last bite of this.
Well, hold on. Welcome
take a
to
bite of
the
it too.
Hug Life podcast, where we eat donuts and tell each other we're great. I'm Mike Coletta.
I'm Monica Nevi.
Hey. And we have a special guest, Jackson Banks.
How you doing?
Yeah, we're in Salt Lake City, you guys.
I feel pretty great about Salt Lake City. I'm really enjoying it.
Really?
Yeah, I really liked it a lot more than I mean, I didn't know what to expect. So
I liked it.
It's a strange town.
It is
Definitely.
stranger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot of Mormon.
Well, here's the thing. That's the thing about Salt Lake City. When people outside of Utah think about Salt Lake City, what they're really picturing is Provo.
Oh, is that the more
40 miles south.
skirts
That's the
and,
Mormon, that's the
and a lot of
Mormon
wives?
cultural hub.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically,
I should have stopped there.
Mormon HQ is here in Salt Lake, but it's like the eye of a spiritual hurricane, basically. Everything else is
It's
not.
windier a little bit
swirl
outside.
around.
Yeah,
Got
everything
it.
else is not Mormon. So everything is very just like, there's a bit of a clash. But most people who live here are not Mormon, so it's very
Yeah,
very
that's
nice.
totally what we noticed. It's actually pretty liberal, kind of
Whole
cool
lot
little
of
town.
Yeah, but
white
we did-
trash. dog.
Yeah, just
Here
like I
comes-
like it.
Here comes that white trash.
What's that?
Need
It's
it
a
so
lot like-
much.
Salt Lake is a lot like maybe a lot of big cities are like this. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's sort of like the Los Angeles area where it's like this is L.A., but there's just little cities within the city. Whereas
Yeah.
Salt Lake, it's like there's a huge spread in the valley.
Yeah, it's an
Like
interesting
cities
thing
in the city.
here where downtown is its own little kind of area, but
Yeah.
it's different. There's other. I mean, we spent time in Sandy, Utah.
Yeah, see,
And,
everything but
Murray.
downtown Salt Lake is garbage. If you're not in downtown, you're a yokel, and can we curse?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
If you're
yeah.
not downtown,
Please do.
you're yokel. Fuck you.
All right.
Take that, yokels.
Take that, yokels.
It seemed. I don't know. I mean, there was a nice mall down there.
Oh yeah.
It's outdoor. Had a
We
creek.
went to, it was like
That's
the
not
Mormon
Sandy.
Mall.
No, I know.
This was in downtown.
Sorry,
This was in
downtown.
Downton.
I know where
Salt
it
Lake.
was.
Abbey.
Downton Salt Lake.
Downton Abbey.
But then,
Sure.
literally, right next to it was the
It's a
biggest
BOL
temple
devil.
I've ever
I'll
seen in my
never
life.
Understand?
Biggest
no. Yeah.
Biggest
City
nipple
Creek.
I've ever seen too.
Where?
Downtown,
Where was the big nipple?
right next to the temple.
The Capitol.
Ooh, maybe yeah. Yes.
Where's
That's
the-
funny because every round building I see, I go, oh, it looks like a boob. So I'm glad you said that.
Oh, well, you sounds like you have the sexual appetite of a grown man.
Mm-hmm. But like really old grown man who's like, yeah, if I have to work for it, I'm not
I
doing
just
it.
love boobers.
That's
You're just like boobers. Is that what you like as an old man?
me. No.
Well, the Grand Tetons, you know the story of the Grand Tetons, right?
No, I want you to tell me
Teton
though.
is French for tit. The Grand
Teton.
Tetons and Idaho are
Tetas
these two
is
mountains
Spanish.
next to each other, and they were named like the explorers named them these big breasts.
Big
But
boobs.
they had to have not seen a lot of breasts for a while to think that those mountains look like breasts, and that's how I get. I'm just like that couple over there, looks like a couple girls kissing. This outlet over here, that's pretty vaginal.
This
This outlet.
I'm going to
This
plug this in.
Vaginal outlet.
When you haven't been touched in a while, everything becomes flesh. Okay.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You're picking up what I'm putting
Picking
down,
up what you're
yeah.
putting down.
I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. Yeah.
There was a mountain in Eagle River, Alaska, when I grew up. As you drove up the hill to our house, and it looked like a boob. It just was like very blatant, like
One boob.
like one boob, very round, and then a little round top on it. Like it was just a perfect nipple. And I said it looked like a boob, and my mom grounded me.
It's like the hill. The
Jackie.
Hill, the hill
Jackie.
lost.
He was just saying what he saw.
The hill
I'm just
lost one breast to
observational.
cancer. Wow.
hill
Things
is
are
just-
falling.
Somebody stop me.
No, I'm not going to stop you.
Does it matter that the
Stop.
lights aren't on anymore?
No, it's definitely going. Still.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
It almost fell down. Anyways,
fix
I don't know. We're going strong.
Yeah, did we want to go over that small town thing or that?
Well, let's hold on. Let's.
Okay, yeah, let's make it organic.
We're gonna
please.
plug some shows.
Oh,
We're gonna
Rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on
yes.
iTunes. That's done.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Monica Nevi.
I'm at me Coletta.
What's your Twitter?
at Jacksy Banksy, JACKZY,
Ooh.
Great tweets to come.
It's like
Jacksy
a little
Banksy.
song.
Jacksy Banksy.
It's nice. All right, and our show's coming up. We're gonna be in Denver. Shit, I should have got the thing out.
Don't worry about it. I'm on it in just a second.
They say there's good comedy.
Do you have some shows coming up you'd like to plug?
I do.
All right.
I'm doing. Oh God, I wish I remember the date. I'm gonna check
Yeah,
the
there
date
we
right
go.
now.
Closer.
It's Jason Harvey, the man. We're in his damn
We
house
are in his
right
house.
now.
Ooh. Want us to do? I have our shows up. If you want, or you want us? Do you have yours yet?
You go for
Okay.
it. I'm gonna.
The day this comes out, we will be at Deer Pile in Denver, Colorado. Then the next day, on October 1st, we will be at Three King Basement in Denver, Colorado. And then the Friday after that, we will be at the Pateros Creek Brewery in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Pateros. That's fine.
Pateros Creek Brewery.
Oh, that's in Fort Collins. Cool.
It's in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Yeah. And then October 7th will actually be in Albuquerque, so plan ahead.
October 7th, Albuquerque.
I'm sorry,
Quirky?
guys.
It's super quirky.
What do you got? You
I can
forgot?
also say while you're still looking around, we also are on Stitcher. You can find the podcast on Stitcher. And we are also on Racketeer Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. So you can listen to us there if you want to on like a fun internet radio station.
That's fun for everybody.
Yay! And rating and reviewing, describing and describing the podcast.
Just
Subscribing.
Tell your friends
Tell your
about
friends
what it's like.
Subscribing to it really does help. So if you guys could do that, it would mean the world to us. But you know that already because you know that I mean you mean the world to me.
If you don't want Jackson to die, you will subscribe and rate
Yeah.
This is a weird
and
Saw
review
podcast scenario.
this podcast.
A Sodcast.
That would be
So
great.
you just throw
like every
Rate and review,
episode.
subscribe, or if you don't,
Every episode, you just
Throw
listen
wood
to the
chips
people
on
trying
stuff?
to get out of the
Sodcast?
death trap that you put. So that show, 50 West Club, downtown Salt Lake, October 15th, Jason Harvey show.
There you go.
2-year anniversary of Comedy and Other Opinions, which is great. Everyone does a set, and then he interviews them for a little bit.
That's
It's
awesome.
very-
That's
it's
fun.
a cool show.
You get to know people.
getting to know people is fun.
He actually
You know, I want to get to know.
he had an opportunity to have you guys on it, but he decided to pass and just.
Oh, he
just
passed
some
on us?
other- Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was like, "What show's gonna have 5 people at it? Let's put it on that one."
Just kidding. He didn't really do that. If the timing had worked, if the timing had worked, Jason totally would have put you on. Yeah, that energy, it's
It's what?
How does it? Well,
Yeah, what is it? What is
What
it
is
like?
it? What is it? What is the energy
What's
like?
happening? Is it
Jackson,
great?
Is it okay? Jackson, are you all right? What happened? Your phone's flashing. Are you okay? Jackson, look at me.
that's
everything
right. I
all
just
right?
getting a really heavy
Heavy
text
serious.
from a speed dater.
Ooh.
Someone you speed dated today, or another?
I speed dated, yeah, and a few people weren't repulsed. Basically, I speed dated for my podcast, Camp Jackie with Jackson Banks.
There you go. Yeah.
Super fun stuff. Did an episode of that today, and it
At
started-
Comic-Con, right? Yes, at Comic-Con.
the sci-fi speed date.
Ooh.
And it started out as just like, we want you to do speed dating. That'll be fun. And I was like, hey, we need a camera on me because I'm going to do a striptease for one of these girls.
Oh, that's fun. Lucky
and
her.
They were like, lucky her indeed. Let's just say begging for more is now part of her vocabulary. I slurred vocabulary. It's just booze, not for me.
Not for
Okay,
me.
let's edit this in. Let's
Okay.
just say begging for more is now a consistent part of her vocabulary.
Okay.
You'll put that-
Vocabulary.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Sorry, I make jokes that make me sound like a bad guy. I swear. I'm
No, you're doing
bad
great.
guy.
Like you sound like a bad girl.
God.
Bad girls for life.
Bad girl.
You wanna get tattoos with us?
Anyways.
Talking about the sad girls.
Talking about sad girl.
You remember what I said about derailing?
Yeah. Okay, so I was like, I'm going to be strip teasing for this girl. Can we get a camera for that part? And he was like, talk to this crew. And they got a whole TV crew with like TV mic and camera and GoPro on my forehead. So I would open up and I would go
GoPro striptease. That sounds.
GoPro strip tease.
Definitely worth
every
watching.
interview would be opened up with, do the cameras make you uncomfortable? we can turn them off if you'd like. That we were required to ask if they were uncomfortable with the cameras.
Did anybody say yes, turn them off?
2 or 3 didn't want the camera.
How many did you speed date?
20?
Wow.
20 gals.
That's pretty
one
speedy.
day. Yeah, Speedy Gonzalez.
So did you marry how many?
Well, I asked all to be my wife.
Wives?
Still,
We're in Utah.
Wow.
Oh!
Oh man.
Polygamy jokes for days. Anyways.
Oh, that's even better than when a local does it.
You're like, you hack. Get out of here.
Is that a thing that people get annoyed with here? Is it really something that happens? Like people start out and they're like,
they're burnt
weird.
out.
I was going to say, I
But-
feel like any joke about Utah when you say wives, it's hacky.
yeah.
It is. However, I'll tell you a hack joke that I wrote myself when I was a boy
Okay.
about polygamy. It goes.
Now he's a man.
Okay. You guys ready for this? So what does one polygamist say to another polygamist?
What?
Hey, my brother from another mother. Yeah.
That works out.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I wrote that in high school.
Dude, I think it's
I hung out with a lot of polygamists in high school.
Really?
Really?
God, we got to talk about this.
Compound. I
Ranch.
don't feel like anyone was being held hostage there, but for lack of a better word, compound community.
Yeah.
It's called Rocky Ridge, and
Ooh.
it's a grouping of houses where everyone knows they're polygamous, but basically what they do is they marry them and then they divorce them. So legally they're not married, but they're practicing, you know.
Yeah.
And and the kids were interesting. A lot of them look the same. They were rad. Either they were.
Wouldn't they be like
super-
half siblings, like all of them?
A lot of them were half. Like there were definitely, you could tell like who there were different dads. You could be like, I know which dad you guys were from. I never met the dads, but they
Always
looked
the
similar.
moms?
There were a lot of half. They were all related, you know. But they were cool. They were either really straight laced and like button up collared shirts, like good students, or they were total party animals.
Really?
Total burnouts.
They were like,
That's
get me
exciting
out
to
of
know.
No,
here.
it was one or the other, basically.
Nobody
Yeah.
in the middle.
Not that I.
Interesting.
saw.
That-
Not
I mean,
that
I guess that makes sense.
There were a few in the
Like
middle,
either you're
but
going to buy in or be like, this is not what I want,
yeah,
and
but
then
either, yeah,
go the other way. Wow.
yeah, it was cool. They were really cool.
That's-
a guy
so is
taught me
it-
about the technicalities of dating while already married, which
Ooh.
I didn't think about until
What
that
is-
point.
That's exciting.
What
Yeah.
how does that work?
It's just like, do you want to onboard this team? Basically, it's a business.
So you're up front right away. You're like, look, I got all these wives.
Oh, everybody.
Do you wanna
knows.
be-
I mean, they date within the community. They're all part of.
Oh,
it.
so you couldn't bring other people from outside the community, or
You
would they
could.
have to be like, oh, I live here now?
Monica, are you trying to join a community right now?
No,
Oh, okay.
Monica,
I don't think you
I'm
need to
sure they'd
project that
welcome
on me,
you with
Mike.
open arms.
I'm just interested in what's been happening in the small towns
It's,
of Utah.
I don't know if they sent people out to recruit. I don't think they were that kind of crowd. I
They
think
just
they
made
just sort of
babies.
kept to themselves. And
That's fine.
but yeah, I'm sure if you went and you were like, I'm in, they probably would.
They'd be like, awesome. Here's
But
the hat.
It was probably a bit clicky because it's just like only a few dudes are getting the trim, you know. And that's what happens. They kick the young
Getting
guys
the
out.
trim.
They kick the young guys out?
No, I don't think there.
Could you?
But the Warren Jeffs and the All Reds of the world, that would be a trend. They would.
Wait, what's I'm stupid. What's the Warren Jeffs and the All Reds?
You don't know Warren Jeffs?
No.
It was a big national case. He was like on the run. He was in Texas for a while.
Not
he
a
was,
big.
He was he was the prophet of the FLDS Church, the fundamentalist Latter-day
Oh yeah, yeah.
Saints.
Sounds fun.
I knew
And
that.
he went down for statutory rape big time.
Oh.
Yeah, they played the tapes in court. A lot of yes sir going on in those.
Ew.
Super creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Is that too dark?
No.
No. It's not like you made it up. It's, it's just a story at this point.
Well, it wasn't in the moment. I was
Hug
just like,
life,
this is a
anyways.
great line about the statutory rape. Super funny quib about the statutory
I got
rape.
this new statutory rape.
The funny thing about statutory
There was a
rape
lot of,
is
yes, sir, going on. But anyways, that's so
There's
fucked
a lot of
up.
yes and going on here, so don't even worry about it.
a lot of improv rape, you know? Yes, and, sir.
It's dark.
Yes, sir, and.
Came out darker than I pictured it.
That's fine. Were you picturing it? What happened?
I've pictured myself telling the joke. I went out there. I told the joke.
Yeah, I'm confident in your
It's
abilities.
part of the game, man.
Yeah,
Part of
Warren
the game.
Jeffs, and then Tom Green was a big But yeah, Warren Jeffs went down for the statutory rape, for sure.
Ooh.
Well, that's
And so
probably good.
they going back to the original thing, they would kick out younger, like their own sons.
Sometimes I'm sure, but the younger guys, I feel like if they found a good reason or found an excuse, they'd kick him out. So if a kid
Didn't
like
want
strayed,
him.
they'd be like, he's no good, get him out of here. But it was just like they needed the young men out so they could hoard the pussy, for lack of a better
I like how you leaned in on that one.
Hoard the pussy.
for lack of a better term. Just stacking
All right,
it. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Let's go back to Jackson Banks, the man,
The man,
the myth,
the mystery.
the mystery.
Ooh.
So where did you grow up at?
I was born in Colorado. No memory of that place.
That place.
Did a show at a ski lodge once there. That's all I.
When you were born?
Not when I was born. Some time ago. Now, born
As
in
a newborn.
Colorado.
As a new one. Crushed it.
First memories were formed in Boise in a Fred Meyer parking lot.
What happened there?
And it was like a breakfast thing.
In the
and I just
parking lot?
remember just like me, mom, dad, and a little sausage.
Were you the little sausage?
Oh yeah, I was a little sausage, but let's say the sausage was not little because this teddy bear's been packing from day one. Anyways, Boise, Shelley, Idaho, where my parents were divorced. Mom got remarried, moved us to Nephi, Utah.
That's where it all
Utah.
started.
Then I went to college in Cedar City for a few years, and then I went to SLC for to go to film school, get my film degree, and now I'm here just making films. So, for lack of a better term,
You're just hoarding that pussy. That's the same term you use.
He's got a
over and over again.
degree in
Just like-
hoarding that pussy.
what is c'est la vie? That's French for swimming in pussy.
Everyone
That's what's
knows.
going on. But yeah, I was raised in a very small town, population 5,000. And the thing
Okay.
about growing up in a small town is, you're a weirdo in a small town if you're one of the more liberally minded people. You know what I mean? You're like the weird, the smart, weird kid. I was a mix between weird and smart. But you're like, when I get to the big city, I'll belong. No, you're wrong. You'll be a yokel when you get to the big city. So if you grow up like dreaming of something more in a small town, you will never belong. So note to self, stay home.
Stay
Stay
home.
home.
Whatever you do, Sam. I really like the term yokel, by the way. I haven't heard it in
love
so
yokel.
long.
I love
and I
anything
enjoy it.
cowboy, western, whatever. Like, I love cowboy stuff because I was raised in the West. So I identify with the like, well,
Wild West.
guess I'll just push through my piece of shit life. There's a relish.
Like the pace guy.
That's what people think
in
in
the
the West.
Well, no,
Well,
I think
Guess
there's a
I'll
relish.
just push through. God.
Because it's how America works.
I think there's a relish.
It's not a bootstrap thing. It's just pushing through your shitty life.
I
I
think
like
there's
it.
a masculine, greasy, like relish of pain in like the rural or like the cowboy sort of mentality where you're like, goddamn son of a bitch, got to get up and feed the sheep, But that's what you
And everybody's
do,
like, no, you
goddamn
don't
son of a
really
bitch.
have
You
to.
don't have to. You
yeah.
just go in the tech
And he's like, no, I do.
Yeah, you just-
Right.
But those guys are neurotic and just like, what am I doing with my life? You're not feeding the sheep. If you don't get a crawl out of bed and just, goddamn son of a bitch, here we go.
The yokels are waking up like, I hate doing this shit every day. And then the city yuppies are waking up like, I should just go wake up and feed some sheep.
You're
I
right.
just want that.
I should be away from
and
the
they're-
city.
And they're like renewed, like,
Yeah.
oh man, just me and the sheep.
Oh, I feel so alive.
Me and the sheep.
And the farmer just shoots the computer.
He gets frustrated with it. He's like, I don't know how this devil machine works.
God damn it! Yeah, I love how even I, having grown up with these people, just stereotype them as hating computers. It's been that long. We're in a small town. I was fine with it growing up there. It was cool. But then I worked at Lake Powell. Not a big deal. Just my life as a boat instructor. A lot of
Whoa, a boat instructor. What does a boat instructor do?
Well, boat instructor, he takes the tourist through the operation of a boat, often a small speedboat, sometimes a larger houseboat. The houseboat people, those are Americans.
Those are Americans?
on their vacation, 9 times out of 10. Speedboat, 9 times out of 10, it's a Frenchman, it's a German, it's a Dutchman.
Ooh.
And so I got a taste of the exotic.
Man of many cultures, Jackson Banks.
Well, here's the thing. I've never left the country. However, I feel like I have because Lake Powell was like this oasis. Like my coworkers were like Bulgarian, British, Australian. My third year, there were like 60 Bulgarians there. I partied with them. I became one of them.
Do you feel more comfortable around Bulgarians than normal people?
No, normal people. All right. Problematic. Problematic.
We just lost all of our Bulgarian listeners.
Okay. American.
That was thoroughly enjoyable for me. Woo. Culture shock alert.
Culture shock. What?
So you were a boat instructor.
I was a boat instructor. Eastern Europeans. Before you went off and did something racist, nationalist, probably sexist.
Those female Bulgarians.
Oh God, the female Bulgarians. Jesus, yes. But Eastern Europeans are very frank and forward and say what's on their mind, and I like that. I was way more comfortable around them, where it was just we're just gonna say whatever we're thinking about. Because we're too poor to keep it bottled up. Keep it bottled up.
We don't have time for that.
You don't have time for it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's great. I could die in a second.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Yeah, no, Bulgaria, great country. Where are my Bulgarians at? There were Turkish guys too, and they hated the Turks because the Turkish enslaved the Bulgarians way back when. So the Bulgarians hated the Turks, but the Turks were like, "Hey, it's cool." Kind of like another.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard this story
Yeah, I think
before
I've
in a
heard this story
different way.
Get over it. We
Turkish
like ya.
privilege, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
We're all on the same page.
That was a long time ago. It's fine.
Slavery. That's a gold mine of material right there. I'm
Oh.
gonna mine it.
That's good.
You're gonna mine it dry.
Mine it dry.
Mine it. Is that what you do with mining?
Nope. Next thing.
Next thing.
Yeah. I wrote a bit about trying to date Bulgarian women. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
All right. Do people do bits on your show? Is that
No, but I'm
tracking?
fine
Now
with
they
it.
do.
They do now.
Well, should I go forward with this?
I think you should go.
Now
with
you
it.
have to.
Yeah, now you got to.
Okay.
Do you want to stand up and do it? Or?
Pretend we're in a comedy club right now. Do you want us to pretend that? I'll like clink
You want
some
me-
glasses
I
together
was
and
gonna say,
talk
do you want me
loudly
to
about
talk really
something
loud
else.
while you're on stage?
Whatever.
Seahawks.
The moment is
comedy
right.
clubs
Okay,
work.
so dating Bulgarian women is different because it's a different value system in Eastern Europe.
Mhm.
So I go to a Bulgarian woman and I say, "Hey, look, baby, look. At the end of the day, I just want to have a boatload of kids with you. Let's do this. What's your dream?" And she goes, "Well, it's stupid, but it's always been my dream to watch a tiger eat a man alive." Now I got to go into this because flows into the conversation. But they would, so the drinking age was a big deal because if you drank underage, they'd kick you out and they'd fire you. Okay, so
Okay.
everyone.
And how
Oh,
old
as
were
a
you?
boat instructor.
I was a boat.
I was 21 by this point.
You were 21,
But
okay.
they would ask their grammar where they would be like, "Do you have 21? Do you have 21?" And I got to correct their grammar in the most epic way possible because I'd be like, "Have 21? I am 21." Yeah, fun stuff.
That is, yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like those bits were organic to the conversation, and that's what good stand-up is. You know.
No.
Yeah,
That's
you just
the
want to
first
sound like it's
conversation.
This is
conversational.
the first real
Perfect.
bit on the show, and it worked
Yeah.
thoroughly.
I think
Just the second
everybody.
one.
So now, if Monica, if you'd like to do
Uh-huh.
one of our jokes real quick,
One of our jokes?
our jokes that we do together as
That
a
we
team,
wrote
a comedy
together?
team, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sequel to Argo, our jokes.
Our-
People have asked us that a lot on the
Yeah.
road. Are you guys a comedy team? You're
guys
gonna go
are
up
a
together?
comedy team? You guys do not
No,
work
I
together?
actually try to be away from him as much as
Yeah.
possible.
She
at
really
this
does,
point.
but we're stuck in a car.
I like you guys as a team.
Thank you.
I like you a lot. A lot of
Thanks.
brown-haired white people in Seattle.
There are.
A lot of pasty white.
A lot of
young
pasty
men.
white folks with beards.
In
Yeah,
fact, this
yeah.
might be the tannest I've been in quite a while.
Yeah,
Tamest.
Monica getting some sun.
Tannist? Oh, Tannist. I thought you said tamest. for
Well,
some
I
reason.
saw
Tamest
Monica.
real
I saw
well.
Monica, and for a split second, I went into. I was like, "Louise, can you get your ass back to the house?" But it was a Monica.
It was Monica.
Just kidding. You can cut that out if that was.
I don't cut anything out.
You were
I do zero
racist on the
editing.
show.
Right. It's
I
fine.
don't cut anything out. I live and leave all my mistakes.
Louise,
I live all my mistakes.
I live all my mistakes. I
Mhm.
leave them too.
live it.
Well, well.
Yeah.
So wait, so you grew up in a small town, but
Small town.
were you guys Mormon?
Yeah, very Mormon family I grew up in.
What is that like? But you weren't. Obviously, you didn't live in a community.
Not
A
in like a compound.
compound.
I mean, it basically was. It was a small town where everyone was Mormon, and there was definitely some culture. You can see the residual culture. Like they had for the Ute Stampede. I'll have you know, it's one of the top 10 outdoor rodeos in the country. There are 8.
Get out of town.
There are 8 in the country.
It's in the top 10.
They had a contest called Bathing Beauties, but this was a
Sounds
swimsuit
appropriate,
contest.
yeah.
But they had to wear one piece. They had to wear. And my friend Tyson put it. He was like, "We're going to objectify women, but we're going to do it modestly."
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
It's a
gonna
debate.
do it modestly. So was there a bunch of weird stuff like that when you grew up in a small town? Like was it
Or the Mormon thing is
a Mormon
more,
like a I
there's
guess
rules,
a Mormon
right?
small town?
It's hard
yeah.
to say. You don't see. Well,
Not
that's what I
weird,
was
but
getting
it's
at
just
when I
different.
went on that Lake Powell tangent, is you don't realize your upbringing is weird until you've seen the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking back, I'm like, what the, like the more I saw of the world, like first tour of Lake Powell, I was like, this is kind of a shithole. And then the more, New York City, Los Angeles, not a big deal, just my life. Coast to coast, every new city, I was like, this is a shithole. And then finally I was able to look my old drama teacher in the face and not be afraid of him anymore.
What
We're
was
like,
the-
I've seen some shit.
What was the drama department like in a Mormon city? Was it what kind of plays? Did you do
well,
different plays?
is it just
Did
you?
do-
It's a lot like a small, comedy
Mormon
town
town.
where everyone's trying to get time.
Really?
Okay.
Some schmoozing, some buddying up, some who do I trust, some,
Kind of got to make your own thing, though.
With people that, like he was a beloved patriarch over the performers. There's very much just like,
Mhm.
oh, I hope he picks me, and there's definitely some ass kissing going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I 100% know what you mean.
You guys have that with clubs and.
Not even clubs. I did
Oh,
college
yeah.
theater, so I know exactly
Right,
what
he
you
knows
mean.
a little bit
I
more
know
about
a lot
Oh,
what
I
you
hope
mean.
he chooses me.
Yeah.
Which is, I have chosen not to live my life in that way, but we'll get to that later. But it was basically, I had to do high school debate to be in the plays, because like to be in with him, you had to do kind of like both.
That seems
Was
weird.
he also the debate teacher?
It was weird. He was the debate teacher as
Okay.
well.
That makes sense.
And debate was cool. I did Lincoln Douglas.
What's that?
It's like you write out a case and you have an affirmative case and a negative case. A lot like stand-up, very
I was
drab.
going to say,
and
is that what
boring.
made you go, maybe I should do
No.
stand
All just like these punchlines you're just trying to make work in the middle of your debate.
Yeah, basically.
Nothing? All right.
But it was kind of boring. You kind of debate the same thing over and over again. I should have done spar, which is like improvised debate.
Ooh, spar.
But I as a kid,
Yes,
as a high
sir,
school, I was
and-
afraid of that improvised stuff. I was like, that's not for me. I could never not prepare.
You're
but
very
really,
no butt. Yeah.
But really, like that's like who I am. Is like improvising is like my favorite thing to do. So
Yeah, should have done it.
yeah. But
Was there an improv troupe in your theater in high school?
no, we didn't
No?
have troops. People were talking about their improv.
We never had
High
improv
school
in high school
People-
either, though. And I had
it's
a
kind
big
of
high
it's kind
school.
of starting now more than
Uh-huh.
anything. But
Yeah.
I'm curious because there's some people that did it in high school too, which blew my mind.
Yeah,
Like at their high school or
yeah,
in
like
a different
at
group?
their high school, like in their high school.
Interesting.
that's cool.
Like their theater teacher ran it.
I always
which is
get
nuts.
really
They have like
bitter.
a club, maybe. I
Yeah,
guess
it's
you
like a
could make
club.
it
It's
a
like a
club.
club, yeah.
That
I
makes
I always
sense.
get really bitter, like high schools in big cities, where they're like, "We had a film club and we had this," and it's just like I didn't have jack shit. We had football, and we had like a theater program that broke even from people attending. You know what I mean? Like,
See, and my high school had that shit, but it was like I'm not gonna do it because I was a stupid, dumb teenager. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's how it
Right. I
worked.
never did any drama, anything on stage. I was an
but
athlete.
you asked
so-
about being a theater kid. I was a star. I was the
Were
lead.
you
in-
the star?
I was the lead in Bye Bye Birdie.
Everybody knew who you were.
Ooh.
I was Banjo in The Man Who Came to Dinner. My favorite role all time.
Banjo.
But after high school, I had zero interest in doing theater again.
See, and I did college theater, and I
Uh-huh.
have zero interest in doing traditional theater again.
Well, it's
too,
because like
after doing it
it's
for 4
months
years
of
and-
rehearsal
Yeah.
every night of your week, and then you perform it 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like stand up, it's like it's your call. You do your show. You do
It's
whatever.
minutes
work
of
you want.
rehearsal, and then you perform every
Yeah.
night.
stand up. I mean, you fall into a rehearsal, a rhythm because you have your bits that are reliable. But at the end of the day, it's your call. Whatever you're gonna do.
Well, that's
Right.
like half the reason I quit doing improv stuff too, is because I'm like, I want it to be all on me. Like that's what
Nice.
you want. Like I feel like everyone in stand up right now is like, well, yeah, I don't want to work with a team. I want to know it's my fault. If I do bad, it's me, or if I do well, it's me.
Well, it's
Like,
hard to
that's-
get
I mean-
yourself across when it's you and other people. You're like,
Yeah,
that's not
well,
really what I was going for.
Yeah. Well, I like improv a great deal. I think it's a great muscle to flex.
Yeah, I think it's. Why did that just
A
get
lot of
so
stand-ups hate improv. They hate it.
I
I've never
don't-
understood that.
I don't like long form and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I don't really understand it. Also, that's probably why. But being able to do different stuff where you kind of like you write different stuff or you play games or something like that, I
Mhm.
kind of like that just to prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, if you can write, you can improvise. That's what I say. Because when you write, you are coming up with it. It's just a matter of, coming up with it at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Writing in real time. Writing
Real time,
in
right.
3D.
Well, that's like what you always go for in stand up. Not to get too inside comedy, but that moment where you're
Inside
like
comedy.
talking and then you're thinking of the next thing in your head as you go. Like that's the fun thing. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that's
yeah.
what you go for.
Right.
My biggest struggle right now, you go through patches of stand-up, you know what I mean? Missing my hair. The timing of the motion of your body is different when you don't have a big head of hair. That
Yeah,
moves with
Jackson
you.
used to have long hair.
Yeah, I
I
had
saw
long
that
hair.
because I just looked on your Twitter page.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh.
So yeah, with the flow, you can kind of hide, but your face and the gesture of your face has to be very precise when you have short hair. So like, I've been struggling with who I am in between jokes. You know how sometimes you're like, who am I before I get to the punchline?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
like, you've got this Frankenstein set where some of these jokes are like 3 years old. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's just like, I was a different person when I wrote this. So the delivery is still there. You know how to deliver it, but in setting up the joke, it's like, do you still feel the same way
I was
about
just
the
say,
subject?
do you still
and
believe in it?
Do you
I
still
think about
believe
that.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
There's Jason.
Yeah, I think that same thing all the time, actually. In fact,
Yeah, yeah,
when I go
it's
through
tough.
longer sets, I'm like, I don't want to do that one, but okay.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's not-
yeah. It's hard to get them to all fit together.
And maybe that's why, like my newer
cohesively.
stuff, it might not even be that much better than the old stuff. I just
Mhm.
connect with it more.
Of course,
than-
yeah.
than
you
the
want
stuff
that's
from
what
before.
that's what you're feeling. That's what you're feeling.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
But yeah, I
okay.
enjoyed both of your sets tonight.
Oh,
It
thank
was
you
very
very
fun.
much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that I didn't watch both your. I should have, but when you feel the set has gone badly, I can't stay in the
See,
room.
Well, but
For-
it was a weird.
For me,
Yeah.
it's good or bad. I don't watch like after like the person. Usually, I always miss the person right after me
Yeah, either way.
because it's
if
like
you're pumped, you
good or
just get
bad.
out of the room
I
and
just
go
walk away and
around.
decompress. Yeah, that's kind of how I
Exactly,
operate.
exactly. So the
I have
person
not
after
watched
you-
Monica
or
at
before.
all. When I no, I'm just joking.
You're missing out on her growing up.
I know, right?
Do this whole thing.
I was okay. So this is the thing: is I actually we've thought about what the positive spin of this is going to be, but there's
Mhm.
actually two choices we could choose from. Okay,
Yeah.
There's Mormonism,
Mormonism,
which is what
that's
the
cool.
first thing we talked about, I think. But the other thing is Comic-Con is going
I was
on
gonna
right
say
now
the
in
same
Salt Lake
Oh,
City.
yeah.
and it has
Oh,
been.
boy.
I don't know if I can positive
either
spin
either
that.
or.
I
you
mean,
got to do one, right?
we could do two.
If you could do it quickly.
I mean, but I
Okay,
I think,
okay.
I mean, these are two things that have very much affect because we went to the Mormon temple twice. Like we went to the first time we went the first day, it was like the outsides, and we were afraid to go inside because I was pretty shabbily dressed and like I didn't want to go.
I was wearing sweatpants.
Yeah, Monica was wearing sweatpants, and
You were temple.
They were nice sweatpants.
Where were you?
we were in
Temple
the
Square.
temples, but we
Temple
didn't
Square.
go in Temple Square.
No, I mean
until
no one
the
was
second
going to
time.
inside the
escort
gates.
you out.
Yeah.
No one was going to escort.
We didn't even know we
you
can
out.
go in because there's these giant gates, like those big scary gates
Yeah,
are there.
I know you
It's
can't go
actually
inside of
quite-
the temple, but
It's actually quite stimulating. They've got some cool architecture and stuff to look at there.
yeah, well, we went today.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's what I noticed is it's like as a like I couldn't like we walked into the museum that was like how they built the temple itself,
Mhm, yeah.
and you're like, I don't think these people really understand. I'm really only coming in this because I think it looks cool and I want to know the
Mhm.
architectural standpoint
Right.
of the
Yeah,
whole thing, like
yeah.
how this
Luckily,
works.
I look mean enough most of the time that people don't try to talk to me.
It's very
Nice.
true.
So that's good. And then Mike walks really fast, so it works out.
I can
fast.
tie.
Like we look like I'm chasing him when we
have
walk.
you ever been to the Scientology Visitor Center?
Yeah, we went together, remember?
Oh yeah, that was you.
I know. I wish I could have
So
gone.
We were there for
creepy.
like 2 hours.
I make
It was
$40
so
a
fun.
week, and I live here at the monastery. But it's okay because we have beer and cheese
That's
nights.
all
It's
I
just
was
like-
thinking when I was watching the like. There's
It's
all these
very
girls
similar.
walking around
Yeah.
in Temple Square with like their skirts and their name tags and stuff, and I was like, "Are they paying you? Like, what do they do? Do they volunteer? Like, what is that?"
It's a very.
Do they live there?
It's a sort of
I don't
sexist.
know.
Like the men are like out on the field, and they send the women out on the field too. But the women don't have the priesthood, which we can get into that plenty. We want to get into that. Women don't have any authority, any real authority in the church.
Well, they're dumb.
yeah,
I'm
well,
just
they're
kidding.
dumb and they have babies,
It's
so
a
it's
joke,
cool.
I'm a girl. Okay.
So and it's for me. This is what I got, but I'm also a pervert and sort of a deviant. But
You were like, I could be in hordes of pussy here.
well,
Hordes
the
keep
Temple
bringing up
Square
hordes of
area,
skirts.
all the missionaries there are girls, and they're girls from
Yeah.
all over the world, and it's just like.
Yeah, it says on their name tags
I
like, where
noticed
they're
that.
from.
Yeah.
It's just like, look at our exotic girls. That's the tone that I got. I know that's.
Oh, I didn't even think about
It's
that.
not that-
I did. I was really interested in the fact that they had their flags on their.
I mean,
on their name
that's not
tags.
necessarily. If they had some male missionaries 50-50 hanging around there too, it wouldn't be so weird. It'd be like, oh, people of every nation are here. But when it's just ladies and it's every nation, it's just like, come check out the girls.
Well, that is a little bit what it. I don't know. And mind you, as we're walking around, even in the mall, I'm like, that guy's wearing a tie. He's probably Mormon. Like
Yeah.
he's got a bicycle helmet. He's probably just
Yeah.
going home from work. Like
We
I'm
saw
just like,
something
"Oh."
really interesting when we were in the Temple Square today. It was a father and son, and they were like from Comic-Con,
Uh-huh.
and then
That was
the
my favorite
dad,
part.
the dad was like just talking up the guy at the Mormon thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, did this dad trick his son into going to Comic-Con and then taking him to the Temple?
Maybe that's what
Square?
happened.
Like,
But my
that's what I
favorite
thought.
part
But
was
she has
him
another thing
going.
that she heard something really
Going.
funny.
Let's go over to the temple, and he was kind of telling him like, "Oh, this is what'll happen. They'll talk to you." And he goes, "Yeah, last week they told me I was going to go to hell." Like that's what he told his dad, and I was like, "Yes."
Nice.
And he was like, "Well, just sit down. We're going
Well,
to
that's
look."
funny. Mormons don't have hell.
They don't.
No, they don't have hell.
It was great.
What is it?
Maybe he was
They
talking
have
about a
3
different
levels
religion,
of heaven.
but it was
They
like
don't have hell. They have third place heaven. They have bronze league.
Bronze League.
There's the celestial kingdom. That's
Well,
where
maybe
you,
that's a good thing
That's
about
where you become
Mormonism.
exalted and become a god, and you get to create worlds of your own and
Is that the top one?
conceive spirit children. That's number 1.
Okay.
That's what everyone's going for.
Go. Okay.
Exaltation, become a god, super cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
Which is one of the more interesting aspects of the religion and why most Christians find it to be satanic. But
Because it's all about you becoming a god.
Well, then
yeah,
you
yeah. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, God is God, but dude, becoming a god, super sweet. I'm into that.
Yeah. Let's buy in.
And then there's terrestrial, which is like people that were Mormon, and there's 3 levels within each of those.
So what's the third one?
Terrestrial is like second place, where like you were Mormon, but you weren't super faithful, or you were a good guy, but you weren't Mormon in the right way, and stuff like that. And it's all about like going to the celestial kingdom with your family, because only if you get married in the temple and get sealed for eternity are you going to be with your family. Otherwise, you're going to be separated.
Yes,
So
my
it's-
grandma's Mormon, and she makes a huge deal about us not
Yeah.
being in the temple. So.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, Grandma, we already know each other. We don't need to hang out in heaven.
You're racist. It's okay.
Yeah.
Grandma, stop wanting to be a god all the time.
And the third one.
I mean, it sounds good.
Level 3, telestial, is where all the murderers and terrible Hitler will be in a tropical paradise, basically.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, Hitler's hanging out, and he'll be fine.
They're trying to sell it a little bit. I feel like
They're selling
like,
it
you know,
like,
this,
hey,
everything's still
fine.
good.
Everything's
So
cool.
if you're a runner,
Okay.
like if you're just an average Joe Schmo like me, and I join,
Mm-hmm.
that means they're like, oh, but you weren't Mormon beginning of life,
like
but
in
you
the
could at
middle?
least get to tier 2. Like, is that how
yeah,
they say
there's
it?
a thing called spirit prison. So if you die
Spirit prison.
before you have been taught the gospel, you go to spirit prison, which is basically hell. It's like purgatory-esque. It's not like you're burning, but you're in this limbo-esque where
Okay.
ghost missionaries come and preach to you. And then when you
On their
accept
bicycles.
yeah, on their
Come to your front door.
hover bikes, and then they go from there. It's very vague. Like, well, what happens? Well, it all depends. And
Dude, I find this very, very interesting though, because I have I did not know that.
no,
at all.
no,
Yeah.
anything
very
you
little.
want, you got it.
No, when we were walking around, like I was just amazed at the statues
Yeah.
and the fountains, and I'm like, "There's so much stuff here." Like,
Money, they got money, son.
Yeah,
much
that was
tax-free
it's
money.
huge. Like just
Tithing is in other churches it's just like donate. We're gonna pass the hat around, but
Really?
like in Mormonism it's 10%, and you do it, and that's part of being a member in good standing is 10% of your income. So they're financially they're good. Supposedly, this may
he
just be a
did it
rumor.
right.
This
Like,
may just be a rumor, but supposedly, if you make over $100,000 a year, you only have to pay 7%.
If you make over 100,
Mhm.
wow,
Get out of
very
town.
capitalistic.
Supposedly, but I would have to confirm that. But anyways, level 4,
Oh,
hell,
there's a
hell,
fourth?
when you're obliterated, it's called outer darkness. That's if you know that Mormonism is true, but you still decide to join Satan and fight God. Then you go into outer darkness, which is basically death,
So
as
Hitler
we know it.
wouldn't be there because he didn't.
No, because he
know
was a
that-
lost soul when he did the Holocaust.
Because he
Okay.
never said publicly, I don't believe in Mormonism.
He was like, I know that
Well, it's not
Mormonism
about-
is real,
yeah.
but I'm still gonna
Yeah, he never did that, so he'll be good.
do this
He's
anyways.
fine.
Got it.
But I can
Ew.
rules,
Mormonism and Comic-Con actually converged for me today. So how do you want to do
Really?
this? How do you want to do the spin thing?
The positive. Well, we usually try to. So we got some breakdown of Mormonism,
Mhm,
but
yeah.
now we got to look at the
Now we
good
gotta-
things.
Yeah, what is good about
Um,
it?
What is the good things about? What
well,
is the good things? Jeez, I
The
can't
good
speak.
things.
What is the good
The
thing?
good things.
One.
Well, my parents met at BYU in Provo. I'm the youngest of 8 children.
Eight?
So
Okay.
without
Not
Mormonism,
that, I mean, that's a
I
pretty,
would not exist.
You wouldn't be on this
There you
podcast
go.
right
I
now.
Okay.
wouldn't be on this planet, this podcast, what have you.
I'm more worried
Other
about the
positives.
podcast.
I mean, there's struggles, there's homophobia, there's sexism. As I said, women can't hold the priesthood, meaning like they can't be priests and they have no.
Does that mean you
Authority.
can't be?
God's
Does that mean
power.
you can't go to the celestial kingdom in the end?
No, you do,
You
women.
can't.
But blacks didn't used to be able to go because they couldn't have the priesthood and they couldn't go into the temple to get like the ordinances.
Would they change that?
Fun fact, the most culty parts of Mormonism, where you go in the temple and do like the weird vow of silence and like the ritual, I never got that far. I was done by that point.
You were outbound?
So there are aspects that I don't know, but I'm glad because Mormons who went on a mission and leave are much more, in my experience, confused and upset than Mormons that did not go on a mission. Because it's 2
You
years. of
never
your
went
life.
on a mission.
Didn't go. I didn't.
Right.
do a
I
mission.
had a couple friends
So
that went on missions.
When did you leave the church then?
It was like so I was like 14, freshman in high school, and I hung out with all these cool 12th graders who were atheists, and
As the 12th grade.
yeah, I had never really, the way you're taught, you're not exposed to outside logic. So the way you're taught it is, if someone isn't Mormon, it's because they don't know any better, basically.
Yeah.
And I had never seen someone
supposed to tell 'em.
logically, yeah,
Okay.
I had never seen someone logically reject it, like face it, like I know what it's about, but fuck it, I'm not into it. I'd never seen that, so that forced me to start to question. And it was a period of like 2 or 3 years, like throughout high school, basically 2 years of very gradual kind of letting go,
questioning.
and it erodes. There's layers because there's like oh the modern church, is this true? And then you go back down like, oh, the first Joseph Smith, was he a prophet of God or whatever, and you kind of degrade it down, and then you get down to God, and then God dies. That takes a few years.
It takes a few years.
Takes a few
I like how
years
that
for that to
process
happen.
was like,
Takes a little
and
bit.
then
It
you
erodes
stop
down
believing
to
in
that.
anything, and
yeah,
then
it erodes away level by level for sure.
Got
Do
it.
you still get to hang out with your family?
Yeah, they're
I was gonna say,
cool.
do they-
It could be a lot worse.
Are they all
Yeah.
still like in it, or
My parents are. My mom and my dad. My oldest 2 sisters are, and their families. But the rest of us, not really. So I lucked out in that my immediate family was sort of outnumbered the people that are still Mormon. Not that I want to make it a war, but it feels like that sometimes. But yeah, it's weird. There's a certain aspect of, can someone shut that goddamn dog up?
Franny?
Franny gets groany.
She's the cutest dog ever.
She's like, why do you keep talking about this?
That dog sounds like my Mormon family groaning for my soul. Wow.
Everything eroded.
Boom.
But no, we're cool. I mean, we love each other, but there is still a barrier where it's just like I can't fully tell you what I've been up to because it goes against everything that you stand for.
Right.
Yeah.
Like 100%. I can't tell you my jokes. I can't show you my movies. I can't tell you what I've been doing because it's you're not
Against
gonna like
everything
it.
you do. Yeah.
So it's just like very hard to be around them in some ways. But I still love them. It's still rad, but it's tough. It
Well,
can
I think
be
it's
weird.
as positive as it can be. Like you said,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a really good outcome because I've heard other stories that
yeah,
are way
no.
worse
Right,
than
where
that.
they
don't.
People.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wasn't like disowned or anything like that. They're very cool people, but there's still a distance there, you know. So
But you go back for the holidays sometimes.
yeah. I mean, not really. They don't even like, you guys going to church this Sunday? Like they know we're not gonna go. But
Yeah.
They don't even try.
The last time I go for like missionary farewells and homecomings. That's the only time I go back into the
that's
old chapel.
Nice. You do like, is it like a party when that happens?
Yeah. It's just like welcome back, or like
There
goodbye.
ice cream?
You know, yeah. There's ice cream, and it's a very
Oh,
big
dude.
like
There's ice cream.
serving a mission.
It's a
The
positive
best thing
spin.
a young
There's
man
ice
can do.
cream.
You don't have to do it, but ladies, only marry a returned missionary. But you don't have to go, boys. But ladies, they're not a man, but you don't have to go.
Don't worry about going, but no one's ever gonna
So,
love
like,
you.
They don't make it a commandment because it is kind of a hard thing that not everyone can do. But there is a shaming that goes on if a young man doesn't go. And they lowered the missionary age from 19 to 18 because they were losing so many kids to the first year of college.
Oh, that makes
Their
sense.
mind gets
Really?
blown open, and then they're like, "See ya."
I had a question earlier. We were talking about if you get married and then you get divorced,
Mhm.
is that like bad? Do you get kicked out?
It's I mean,
kicked
it's not frowned upon as in like I think it was in Catholicism. It's
Right,
like,
that's the one that I know.
it's like you get divorced, and I can't remember how it works. Like you're still sealed to the person you married unless you get an unsealing.
Oh, that's a whole
But you're
nother
still
thing.
sealed to your kids. The sealing is that's what it's all about. You get sealed to your family so that when
When
you
you're in
when
the
you die,
afterlife,
you don't
you-
get separated, which is
Got
a
it.
Oh.
weird, arbitrary, metaphysical. But yeah, it's getting divorced is. I mean, it's frowned upon in any as it is in any culture. The divorce, yeah, it wasn't super shameful. Like a lot of people still get divorced, but because of the family dynamic, it's still like it's a tragedy. I don't think it's as much like shame. I
Yeah.
never felt that, but yeah, it's more like it's a tragedy.
Well, now we got to do the positive spin on Comic-Con.
Was I positive at all? In that?
I mean, you said some good. You said some positive things
I
about
well,
the
there's
family.
some nice folks. There's some genuinely cool like Mormon people that are generous.
When
and,
Yeah,
when
I
I
have Mormon
first
friends.
moved to Auburn, Washington, the first kid I met that was my friend was Mormon across the street, and we would just play basketball and Monopoly all the time. It was really
Yeah.
great. It was
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
and it was fun. It was just fun. I just
mean,
didn't understand.
We had a
the
huge
positive
Mormon
spin.
family
I like because I was
at
devout.
my school, not my family. Anyways,
Because I was devout in high school, I didn't like get into trouble. You know what I mean? I didn't party until later, so that was nice. I'm kind of glad I was raised in a more conservative, because I sort of like discovered myself before I decided to alter my mind. So I feel like I don't know, but I think everyone has a bias for when they start like doing drugs and stuff. I feel like in college is the time to fiddle around.
Let your freak flag fly.
experiment.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
feel like high school is too young. I've always felt high school is a bit young for
For-
that.
Yeah,
for drug stuff.
Those kids get a little more burnt out.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
really do.
yeah. What was I gonna say?
In class.
We got a spin con.
You guys
Yeah.
been Comic-Con. Because I mean, the
Comic
negatives
Pro.
about it are, holy crap, it's a lot of people.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah,
like the
a lot
big
of
negative.
people.
Is it like shuts down a city almost? It seems like here.
Oh
It's
yeah,
nuts.
yeah. Well, the negatives were I was very bitter, and the negatives were it's just like making like this phony like comic books are cool now, and like look at all everyone does it,
Yeah,
and
when
then
like 10 years
Yeah, it
ago
is
that
like
was
a
not
lot.
there at all.
yeah, and
lot
then
more
all
people
these,
buy in
and all
now.
these like hot girls just like I'm dressed up as and you know they're just using
I
it
did
as,
see like
as
a
an
slutty
excuse
Captain America
as an
today.
excuse to like
He's a
you know
boy.
Halloween all over again, you know.
Yeah.
But I had like this emotional experience today where I was just like talking to this really weird nerdy girl, and I was in sort of a sexist hole where I was like, girls aren't nerds, girls don't like this shit, like these girls are lying. But like the speed dating, I realized that these girls were super weird and they were way into it, and then I just that was like, this is a celebration. So it's like, oh, girls are using this as an excuse to just like, you know, dress slutty. But it's just like, on the positive side, girls are dressing as slutty like comic book characters. What more could you want?
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
She's making the choice to do that. It's not like that's how excited she is about. It's like
exactly, yeah.
I guess Comic-Con now looks like it's like nerd pride to me.
No, and that's
Like,
the thing. I
that's-
was just like, wait a second. This is like people are walking around dressed as my favorite like fictional whatever. Like I'm in like a Wonderland. This is amazing. So I'm a Comic-Con guy now, and I bought some figures.
He did. Get lots of stuff.
But tying them together.
Yeah.
Should we go through these, or we probably
Is
don't
there
have time?
more?
I mean, we're
nerds?
running low on time, but
Oh
yeah.
god. Well, Admiral Akbar's in there. That's all. I
Oh
need
my
to know.
gosh, you had me at that.
So here's where Comic-Con and being LDS collide.
Here it comes together. Okay.
So there's this girl that had this sign that said like "Hug me, I'm an angel," something from the Supernatural show. I don't remember what show it was. So I hugged her, and this guy came through. He's like, "Are you LDS?" And she was like, "Yeah. I mean, I was raised LDS, you know." And he was from a different country. I don't know where from. He was not white, and he had an accent, but I couldn't place where he was from. And he was like, "Are you LDS?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like, I don't know, a lot of reasons. And he was like, "Why not?" And I was like, I don't know. They didn't give like blacks the priesthood until like 1978. You know, it was a little late for my taste. And like, you know, women can't be the leader. And then he was like, "Well, we'll go on. Any more reasons?" And I was like, "It is so blatantly false. Like it is so." And then I was like, "Wait, are you LDS?" And he was like, "Yes, I am." And I was like, "Oh, well, my parents are LDS. Well, Godspeed, man." So it was a really intense. I was
Yeah.
just like.
He's trying to get.
Because I usually try to avoid.
Talking about that.
Maybe I
yeah.
shouldn't. Maybe I should be more militant. But like, if people want to open a dialogue, but calling it blatantly false, I'm still a big softy. So it's hard to be like, this is blatantly false. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to like. That's the thing is, it's like you never want to be that guy that's like asshole.
A hard ass.
Yeah,
Because you're not. You're not turning anyone by being a dick. But you can.
Everyone
be
hates
civil
the
and
hardcore
express.
atheist guy that's annoying all the time.
I think anybody.
well,
it doesn't matter what you believe. If you're so forceful about it, everybody's like, "Well, if I'm not going to listen to you, that's crazy."
The reason the like militant atheism, I feel like, and this might be because this might be skewed, but I feel like that's a trend that won't stay hot or isn't as hot because like with religion, it's just like spread the word, Jesus is risen. And with militant atheism, it's like, spread the word, it doesn't mean shit. Like, it's not the kind of thing where you spread the word. But it works for some people who need to be liberated from religion, and they're super stoked about it. But most people don't want to, like, accept the whole death thing.
Yeah, I think atheism is one of those things where that's you. Like, you need to figure that out on your own. It's really difficult for someone to be like, hey, what you
Yeah.
think is bullshit, listen to what I say. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, and I'm all for it. I'm all for, being an atheist. I basically am, but I still have my moments where I'm just like, wow, what's going
Wow,
on?
universe. I do that too.
But it is one of those things where I don't think about like God to the point where I'm like, yeah, probably not. But it's not like I don't know. I view life from like the narrative standpoint. I think it's important to have everyone have like the lens that they view the world through. And I don't like promoting like this is reality. We all need to look at it this exact way. I think that's a bit dull. I like there to be
Well,
different
it's different for everybody,
interpretations.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun, yeah.
I
For
think
me, it's a big story.
it's just all a narrative.
Just a big
long
story.
Jackson Banks really into narratives.
I'm really into the narratives.
You know, we do
yeah.
have 8 minutes to
Like-
go through your figurines if you want to go through them. Do you want to do it?
Yes.
We're going to skip over the quiz, and Jackson's going to tell us.
We don't have
Is
a
there a
quiz.
I know.
quiz?
We don't
Okay.
have a quiz. That's why I
Well,
said that.
I have the medical droid here. Very
Ooh.
cool. Very cool.
Star Wars.
Transparent. Cool design.
Yeah.
I only get a figure if it's well made. Boba Fett. I had a Boba Fett earlier, but it was stolen.
Oh, it's a bigger Boba Fett.
It was stolen from my house party.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's
Someone
really
stole my-
messed up.
Someone stole my motherfucking Boba Fett. The dude with the nuts on his face from A New Hope on the bar scene. Love the color scheme.
What's
you know what I
his
mean?
name?
The guy with the orange safety
His
vest.
name's Ponda Baba. He has nuts on his face. Check it out.
He has balls on his face.
Um,
yeah.
Good deal.
And
Aggressive.
last but
He's
not
like,
least,
this is what
the
I'm
one
playing
that
with,
started
ladies.
me on this tirade, motherfucking Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. The fish guy.
It's true.
Definitely biggest score.
Oh yeah, that's a great score.
So, was there like a stand with those in them? Store?
Yeah, they had little like toy shops, various toy, like some had better deals than others. This one,
Did a
little out of my price range, but my brother was like, "Hey, hook me up with that press pass," and I was like, "All right." And in front of a woman who I was wooing, I said, "Hey, bro, buy me this, and he did. And
What?
Super nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's
No,
a
he's-
positive
me-
part of Comic
no,
Con.
yeah. Me and my bro were chill, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'll get you back. I really got to get this Boba Fett." And I sort of got into Comic Con, and then they closed like right after I got him in.
Nice.
But, fun stuff. So that's a little something about my life. I just became a collector today. I don't want to like
Dude,
make you guys
collecting
think I'm a
things like
dork.
no, collecting things like that is always fun, but it's a slippery slope. Like that's what it's like for me. Is I go all into something or not at all. Like it's like
Well,
a
it's
big
just
challenge.
like, for me, I don't think I'll go crazy, but it's like these are the ones that I had when I was a kid. So they're the ones that catch my eye. And I'm like, oh, I totally had this. So I'll get it here and there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's begun. I have like 6 now, so it's time to fill that wall.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
We can change the subject now.
We don't need to change the subject.
change.
I like this.
I dig.
I don't.
it.
Do you feel uncomfortable in it?
I feel like it might be boring where you can't see these great figures.
I mean, I
You can
think.
put pictures of them up
Yeah,
if you want.
I think we can do that.
Take a picture of you with all over on your
Yeah,
face.
just
Actually,
all-
no, we could do that, and that will be the picture for the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Let's
totally
do
what we'll
it.
do. We'll
Let's
just
do
put a
it.
picture of you with your figurines all over you.
And it works because Mormonism and Comic-Con being spun. We got the halo of action figures.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
perfect.
You're just
There
a
you go.
little angel of,
Yeah, yeah.
of Star Wars.
Angel Con. What's a good
Angel
title
Con.
for this?
And actually, title
think
names for this podcast
Hoarding
I had.
Pussy is
I had
fun.
Yokels as a possible title. I had Grand Tetons as a possible title, which I think is really good. And then what was the? And I was going to call it Just Me and the Sheep, which was the
Not
farmer
hoarding
thing.
Pussy?
That could go into the
not hoarding
religion
pussy.
thing
I'm
if
trying
you
to
wanna
keep
be.
cleaner titles.
Just
Why?
Me and the Sheep is good, but I don't
Just
like
me and the sheep.
I don't
It's just me
I
and the
don't
sheep.
like inherent like people who are religious are sheep. I don't like
Well,
having
I was no. You
But that
said
was
you
the
said
city- that was
you
the
said
city
Just Me
guys.
and the Sheep with the city versus
City
the
guy was
town.
going
I
out.
totally get it, but I was saying it
Yeah.
ties into it. I was talking out loud. Forgive me.
I was gonna say the other title I have is Jackson Banks hates Mormonism. Is that a okay title? How do you feel about that?
Say
it's
blatantly
a bit
false.
Strong.
It's a
about
bit
that?
strong.
Strongly
Mormonism is blatantly
dislikes. Or- I'm just kidding.
I do. I mean, you don't hate something like that until it makes it so you can't be as close to your family or like a close friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like once you feel it's stolen someone away from you, then you hate it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like it a lot.
That won't be the title.
But that won't be the title. Can we take a picture with all these action figures by your head now, though?
But yeah, let's do that.
This has been a really good. This has been a really good. Go figure. That's a good one. That's a
Go
good name for it.
figure.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. We always discover the title
Go
during the podcast too, so
figure.
it's exciting. But thank you for being on the podcast, Jackson.
Thank you for
Just
having
me
me. It
and the
was a
sheep.
marvelous time.
And go figure for Just Me and the Sheep. And you're great.
Thank you.
You're all great.
You're all great.
Charity is
Thank
YouthLink.
you.
It's a
I'm
Utah
flattered
thing.
you even
It's
had
fine.
me on this
Charity's what?
damn thing.
It's called YouthLink.
YouthLink.
Spelled with
Oh,
a C and
you
not
wanted me
a
to
K.
plug a charity.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have one,
You
yeah.
have one.
You don't have to.
You know
but-
what? I'm a bare bones guy. I like to shell it out to bums on the street.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the bums.
They have signs here
They
that
have
say
signs like no
don't.
panhandling right next to the Mormon
It was like
temple.
don't support, and then literally right next to it was a dude. I was like, I like
It said
I like
don't
your
support
fucking swag,
panhandling?
man.
It said don't support panhandling. It's illegal, and it's like on
It's like,
all the
where does
entrances
the money go?
of the temple
Like-
square. Because I think
No, I
they
didn't see. That makes them seem so not cool.
Well, maybe they're like, don't give him
huge-
your cash, save it for
Yeah,
us.
no, there's a huge homeless problem in this city. There's no homeless Skid Row. It's all Skid Row. There are homeless people everywhere. It sucks.
Is there just nothing? Is it nobody helping him?
I guess so. I don't know. I would have to.
I mean, like Seattle, we
I would
have
have to
some-
investigate the true cause of that. But there's like a normal city's homeless population in this small city. I don't know.
So you think
Interesting.
for the charity today we have the Youth Link?
Yep.
But we also have being a good person.
We also have a throw the bum a few dollars because one time a bum fed me when I was starving.
Really?
I don't know if we have time for that. Probably not.
We had 2 minutes, but you can always come back on the podcast and tell
I will
us.
come
this.
back on. Basically, a bum begged for me. There were people with extra food, and he was like, "You want food?" And he was like, "Give this guy food." And I was like, "You go get it for me. I'm too self-conscious."
Oh
And
my
then he was
gosh.
like, "You walk with God or Satan." And I was like, "I don't believe in Satan." Boom, 2 burritos.
burritos. Devil burritos. Here we go.
Dude, this might
The devil's
be
threesome.
2 burritos.
Devil's
The devil's
the
two-
Me and
devil
2
makes three.
burritos.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jackson Banks.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you guys are
You're
great.
awesome.
And we
Yeah.
love you. And bye-bye.